Hello students, today we are going to see Unit 2. The topic given to you here is Think Globally, Act Locally. The title of the unit, it is something amazing and it is very approaching that you all will really like this particular unit. Why? Because in recent times this particular slogan has been adopted by many people across the globe in different contexts. What I want to say here is, this particular slogan is used by people in different fields in different ways. They adopt this as one important thing that within the environment, within the place where we are, we can bring a change. That change which starts from an individual, it just moves from one individual to the other and it reaches to the dears and nears of that person, and it grows from there on to the neighborhood, locally, to the city, to the district wise, state wise, nationally. Likewise, you can think in that way. It gives, it just elaborates in a way like one concentric circle. See, it just influences other people that by adopting this particular slogan, by adopting this particular principle, we can do so many things in this world. The second lesson is actually growth of English in India. Growth of English in India, which is going to be related with the title. What is the title? Think globally, act locally. What are you going to think about English globally? See, imagine or just understand, just try to understand what is the growth of English. How English has occupied its place in our nation. Whatever be the sector, whether it is a health sector or factories, industries, various production industries, academics, everywhere we can see that English has really grown well. Since the entry of East Indian Company to our nation, we have been seeing the influence of English on Indians. We are talking about English influence in the positive way. Why I am saying that there is positive influence? Because we are getting advantage. What is that advantage? We are able to communicate with the people internationally, because it is a tool that helps us to communicate with the people across the globe. So, the growth of English in India, it takes its dimensional view that in each place, in each way, it tries to give some growth to our nation. One thing, English is growing as a language, I am telling. One thing, English is growing because large number of people are trying to learn English. Large number of people are trying to enhance their soft skills. So, to promote English is not the thing here. How English is being taken up as a medium to interact with other people, interact with other nations in various fields. So, this lesson deals with a very small unit is given to you, only 6 points, that tells us that how English is helping the people to grow personally. Grow personally, here it means act locally. Okay, because of individual's growth, what happens? There is some improvement in his family. His improvement or development in the family, it has its impact on the society. And the society's growth, naturally it leads to the state and to the nation. So it is, I already told you that it is one concentric circle, that it seems to be a very small thing, that acquisition of English language, acquisition of one foreign language, that is the starting point. But what is happening? It just grows to the next level, next level, next level, and it takes you to the next level. You are actually climbing the ladder. Okay, the first point. English as a common language to communicate with others, to share our knowledge, to share different cultures, to share different viewpoints, and to create trust and to have better understanding, and more importantly, to negotiate or to persuade people. We use English as a tool, and where which English helps us locally to reach the mass. This is first point. And then the second one. Second one is for international communication. See, now from the remote corner of Tamil Nadu, we can do business with the people in UK or US. With the help of internet, everything is possible. And think about the mother tongue. Think about the communicative language. The people from the corner of Tamil Nadu, remote corner of Tamil Nadu, they are able to reach UK or US, where the communicating or where the language used in those countries is English. So here English plays a vital role in building business, to have international relationship, to have business contacts to the countries across the globe. Then the third point. The third point says that the condition of students after completing their school education. What is their proficiency level in English? The third paragraph, it says that the students at the entry level in the university, they lack English proficiency. The students have been studying English either in English medium or English as a second language. They have been studying so many years, and even after completing their school education, they find it difficult to communicate in English. So in this prospice, it is emphasized that the students of higher secondary, at the higher secondary level, the students need to concentrate more on English, because English is going to help them in their career. To make a better living, to improve their English language skill is very much essential. So the higher secondary students, even if they don't concentrate more on English up to this level, at least now on they need to concentrate more, and they should be comfortable in communicating with people in English. Because both in speaking as well as in writing part, the communicative skill is very much essential, that will help them to get better employment. So this place says that, see, why there is a difficulty in understanding English, or why there is a difficulty in achieving the level as expected at this stage. Why? Because quarter of our pupils, quarter of the students, they are almost first generation students, and they don't have proper guidance at home. So whatever they study at school, only with that minimum gain of knowledge help them to improve their communication skills. So what else can be done to avoid that? Whether you are a first generation learner or a second or third generation learner, it's not a matter at all. If you start picking up good habits like watching English serials, good English serials, and reading good English books, listening to good speeches, reading good speeches by prominent leaders. Likewise, if you choose proper thing and improve your reading ability, that will help you a lot to improve your spoken and written language. So the third point stresses that there is a need of improvement. And the fourth point, it says that the employability of English speaking candidate is very much brighter than the candidates who lack that. Why? See, we know that there are so many English speaking countries, and there are so many countries where English has been taken as an official language or common language. So the person who has very good proficiency in English can take up the employment in such countries. Here in this paragraph, we are talking about employability in other international or other nations where English is a common language. See, we call English as lingua franca. We call English as lingua franca. Why? Because it is a common language for people who have other mother tongues. So such people, if they develop their communicative skills, and they may have the employment opportunities over there. Okay. For that, how are they being scaled? How the candidates' language proficiency is scaled or measured? That is, there is CEFR, Common European Framework of Reference. Common European Framework of Reference. It is the standard that gives weightage to people, that has measures to see whether the candidate has the ability or candidate has that proficiency to communicate with people. And it is said that C1 is required for employability in English speaking nations. What is that C1? As higher secondary students, you need to know what is this level, what this level stands for. C1, it seems to be C1. In the ladder we say ABC, and in the grade level we always say ABC, but this C1 is really a difficult one. It is expected that the candidate who clears C1 level will know to speak in English, will know to lead the team, will know to give success to the team, will know to adapt with the team members, and the person can speak in detail about any topic given to him. The topic may be varied from art to any other science or anything, whatever be there, and if the candidate is clearing all these level, only then he will be given C1. So according to this CEFR measure, if a candidate acquires this C1 level, only then he can get employment in English speaking nations. And the next point is English for business. See, in many cases, both government, quasi-government and private sectors nowadays they are having partnership with other nations. For those partnership businesses, this communicative skill, especially English language, plays a vital role in building such business relationship. So, from where we can understand that English is very much essential. And the sixth point and the final point is skills needed at schools and college level. See, here also we need to know two different things. What is that? One thing, in all the service sectors, English knowledge is essential. And on the other way around, you take any sector, whether you are taking up the hotel industry or academics or any other production industry, wherever you go, people need to talk with each other, where if their mother tongue is not the same thing where they are working, then they should use only the common language, English. So in that way, at one level, to communicate with his own cadre of people, he need to talk in English. It may be informal. And the other way is, and when he need to address his issues or the other items, if he wants to discuss with his seniors or the higher officials, where he need to use official or formal language. We need to communicate at two different directions. One is with our own colleagues and the other one is with our customers. So with our own colleagues, we may be little informal, and where the speaker or the candidate need to know the informal way of addressing people, talking with people. And the next one is the relationship with their customers. It cannot be informal. It is more formal. So where they have to shift to the formal. So in two directions, in both the directions, the students need to know how they should improve their communication skill. So both informal and formal, both the varieties, both the directions are essential, because it is going to help them to accommodate themselves in their workplace. And another one is, not only this formal and informal way of speaking, formal and informal way of writing is also essential. So all these things need to be concentrated. So the sixth point emphasizes that as a language, English need to be learned to make themselves proficient in English, which will definitely help them in workplace. So whether they are in the very small position or they are taking up the leader role, wherever they are, they should be proficient in both formal and informal language, both speaking and writing. So if a person wants to improve his skills in this way, in these two directions, a person need to read a lot, listen to good speeches, listen to or by watching good programs, they can improve their skills. So only these 6 points says that how can a person's knowledge in English will help them to, or will help him to think globally and act locally. See, if a person, two persons are getting employment in a firm, and one has a good knowledge in English and another one has a lesser knowledge in English. What happens to both of them? See, a person who is having better communication skill takes up his position and he feels comfortable in his work, and from then on he tries to grow. He takes different positions and he proves his ability over there with the help of his English language. He will be able to convince people, he will be able to make a convincing remark to his higher officials that he can be given the next position, the higher position. And the person with lesser skill, what happens to him? And he feels terrible even at his own circle, and he may not show interest in learning the language also, where it becomes difficult for him to go him to the next level, take his promotion to the next level, take himself to the next level. So, where also English plays a vital role. What here they want to say convincingly is, as a language, English helps a person to grow individually, and because of that his economic condition also improves. If his economic condition improves, it gives him some security in the society. So, if we remove English from a person, his employability and his achievement or growth or development also is lowering. So, with this the lesson is concluded. Then one small introduction about two other reading skills. One is skimming. What is called skimming? It is very easy. If you just go through the main ideas, if you just go through only the subtitles without showing so much interest on other details or the highlighted areas, if you concentrate on all these headlines and the items which are highlighted, that reading style is known as skimming. Then the other one is known as scanning. Scanning means what? It is a process of reading quickly to get the specific information. For scanning, an apt example would be searching the word's meaning in a dictionary. How will you search? You will go seriously to the page and you find out where that particular word is, and then you will come to know what does it mean. It is called scanning. So, these are the two ways of reading things. One is skimming, another one is scanning. I hope both these two reading skills will be of its own usage. Before going to the examination hall, what will you do? Will you go for scanning or skimming? Just think about it. The glossary, the new words here are vital, negotiating, lingua franca, globalization, proficiency, corporate, progression, emerging. All are already, you may be aware of these words. Okay, we are just seeing these list of words only to ensure that you will make use of these words in your writing part. Okay students, now we shall move on to the assignment part. Let me give you a homework. You all will be having your textbooks in your hand. If you don't have your textbooks, write down this question. Question number 1. What is the minimum proficiency for professional employment abroad. I repeat, what is the minimum proficiency? What is the minimum proficiency for professional employment abroad? Second question, substantiate your idea that knowledge of English and soft skills mean to move up in the social order. Substantiate your idea that knowledge of English and soft skills mean to move up in the social order. And the third one, if you have your textbooks in hand, do the exercise given on page number 21. Okay students, I hope you all will do this homework. Thank you students.